pilot needs on the control stick, so he or she can carry out vital tasks without taking their hands off. With number 1435 flight. This is a force that's constantly evolving. Many of you, I'm sure, will have seen coverage earlier this year of the final retirement from RAF service of the Panavia Tornado GR4 strike aircraft, which we saw for the last time ever at an air show in RAF service at the Battle of Britain air show here last year. Been much upgraded to allow that to happen under what's known as Project Centurion, with a range of new systems and weaponry.
On the Airbus A320, followed by Terry Randall, former Concorde captain, and then Jonathan Elwis, a man who's owned his Tiger Moth now for 41 years. Back in the 1980s, the teams will be turning and lining themselves up into a 3-Vic formation. And so I can see next up is Jonathan Turnbull, who is a former Boeing. Here they are coming from right to left in a Vic formation. I'll talk about Vic formation in just a moment. On Nigel's right is David Sister, a former fighter pilot flying Hunters and Lightnings, now an oyster farmer. And he, back in 1978, flew his Tiger Moth from Britain to Australia, solo. And finally, on the rear, closest to us, is Dickie Yamamoto, a former Tornado pilot, who will become one of the synchro pair you'll see later. And collectively, the output of the engines of this complete team is about the same as a Mark 1 Spitfire. I'm very fitting that we have a Mark 1 Spitfire finishing the show today. Again, wonderful formation in tricky wind conditions, again bouncing around, but superb flying. Here they come. Now cast your eyes up to the main pack. And they're braking. There we go. by Dr. Jeremy Ratcliffe. Bring the rear, we've got Supersonic at 15 to 1, driven by Jerry Rendell. Next is De Havilland Boy at 8 to 1, driven by Jonathan Turnbull. And finally, it's the 20 to 1 outside. And then just let the tail. And the wind is light or coming straight at you. They're also being an aim.
Display item, we're then going to get the computer into the air, also to go off and hold, and that'll be on after the Chinook. Incidentally, having just seen those 9 Tiger Moths, of course you can go flying in the classic winged Tiger Moth fleet, not just on display days, but throughout the rest of the summer here at IWM Duxford. And also I see we've got another Tiger Moth parked on the far side of the airfield, the silver one, amongst the row of visiting aircraft. And that one is very appropriately registered G Moth. It was based here for many years as part of the Russavia collection. It's now privately owned, and that one represents the prototype DH-82 Tiger Moth. Very nice to see that aeroplane here as a visitor. The Chinook turning away to position for its run-in. As after the first dose of rotary wing action on today's flying programme, and very, very spectacular it is too. And this display over this...
Please do give them a big wave as they come over the top and see you for the first time. And here they go, ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Chinook display. So pitching back down now, give the crew a wave before they make their 90-degree breakaway to our left. The Chinook size often hides its sheer ability and power, but we hope you'll be impressed by the aircraft's performance by the end of the display. 2019 Chinook display captain is Squadron Leader John Turner, known as JT. JT is an A2 instructor and officer commanding training flight on 18 Squadron. JT from crowd line from left to right. The nose is going to be pulled up by 45 degrees before recovering at the display base level. JT is again scanning sideways here to pick up his lateral markers. The challenge for the crew here is to descend onto crowd centre, while some days battling this 15-ton machine being pushed to a pull by the wind. Joining JT in the cockpit today is 2019 flight co-pilot, Flight Lieutenant Andrew Jewett. And joined the RAF in 2008 and subsequently completed his rotary flying training, as well as spending time working in MOD. He joined 18 Squadron in 2016 and is a member of the and is synonymous with the Chinook, leads to our popular Twitter hashtag #BladeSlap. So the Chinook is going to break away shortly to perform a 60-degree offset wingover away from crowd centre. Flown by the RAF, the Chinook is actually operated under the Tri-Service Joint Helicopter Command. It remains in high demand due to its large cabin, capable of carrying up to 40 fully equipped troops. We also carry vehicles, freight and palletised cargo, and are able to hoist personnel to and from the aircraft, along with other specialist troop insertion and extraction techniques such as free-fall parachuting. Perhaps his best known role is in medical emergency response, a role which the force fulfilled under fire during Operation Herrick in Afghanistan. The display you see today really demonstrates how manoeuvrable this extremely large helicopter is. Most of this display is brought out of tactical skills employed and perfected on operations around the world. During all of these manoeuvres, the co-pilot's eyes are constantly darting around the cockpit. He's checking aircraft performance and constantly torquing or pattering, as we call it, aircraft speeds, pitch and roll parameters, not to mention critical awareness of height as they descend towards the crowd. Another crucial call from the co-pilot is distance to run to the next manoeuvre to make sure they enter in the correct place, alongside other information which allows JT to fly visually by simply looking out of the cockpit. Now out to the right, the aircraft is again pulled into a pedal turn. The Chinook has been used continuously as a battlefield helicopter for over 37 years. Most recently in Iraq, Afghanistan and now Mali, its heavy lift capacity combined with power, speed and agility ensured that even during the hottest summers and darkest nights, the force always completed its missions. Now going to whip the aircraft into a low-level 360-degree orbit, giving you the chance to really hear that famous and fabulous sound of the aircraft. Looking out in front, that topside view, the photographers amongst you will get a great angle of this awesome machine and its unique contra-rotating blade design, which makes Chinook what it is. Operationally, the Chinook has a 4-person crew, 2 pilots in the cockpit and 2 weapon system operators or crewmen in the cabin. Flying this aircraft is a pure form of teamwork, and every mission embodies the crew spirit famous amongst RAF aviators. So here's the aircraft running left now. You'll notice the nose coming up to decelerate through 85 knots before JT enters a 180-degree nose-down quick stop. The RAF Odium homes 2,200 personnel of all trades, including air traffic, engineering, armourers, logistics, caterers and medical staff, among so many others. All of them are dedicated to supporting our global and national commitments. RAF Odium and the Chinook Fox are all about teamwork, and we remain ready to respond to national and global events at a moment's notice, with personnel and aircraft on permanent readiness 365 days a year.
I want to try it.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. There's the crew coming to the hover one final time for you. And this is your chance to show them your appreciation for demonstrating the aircraft to you today. Please do give them a big wave before they haul our 15-ton machine backwards into an over-the-shoulder departure to run back out. I must also say my goodbyes. It's been an absolute pleasure to display for you here at Duxford today, and our sincere thanks must go out to the event organisers, the Flying Control Committee, and of course all of you for coming out to watch our display. If you'd like to know...
Display pilot, Flight Lieutenant Neil Ostrogowski. As he pulls up at 5.5 G, converts his speed to height, performing his first manoeuvre, the Prince of Wales. Neil is known by most to ski and was born in Brimley, Surrey. He joined the Royal Air Force in 1997. On completion of flying training, he was posted to RAF Kinloss to fly the Nimrod. The ski has now regained his airspeed and achieves 1,300 feet at the top of a half horizontal lane. Operationally, ski has flown the Nimrod over both Iraq and Afghanistan. He's also been involved in a number of exercises and operations worldwide. Switching between level and inverted flight, ski perform with partners around the globe. Today, the Royal Air Force is expanding, recruiting for over 50 rewarding and demanding careers, such as air traffic controllers, engineers, medics, and space specialists. The Royal Air Force has an exciting future. They are the Lightning II, the Poseidon, and the Wedgetail.
completion, the Hunting Jet Provost T3.
In North American aviation, designed and first flew in 1935.
Until a few years later, when the AT-6 Texan advanced trainer started coming into service with what was very appropriate to choose the name of an American university for this American-built advanced trainer.
What exactly do I mean by that? Well, it was a very effective.
But the last example on British military charge was with Kinetic, the Test and Trials Organisation at Boston. It wasn't retired until 2016. Provost T3. Version of its piston-engined Provost, which we were to have seen in the display today, but unfortunately aren't. But quite soon, they developed it into something rather more. This was the result. It was 65 years ago this year, on the 26th of June 1954, that hunting test pilot Dick Weldon took the first prototype of the Mark I Jet Provost into the air from Luton Airport. It really soon proved its worth. The Mark I Jet Provost was a very strange looking aircraft indeed. It had an enormously tall, stalky undercarriage which made it look hugely ungainly on the ground. But it was a very nice aeroplane by all accounts to fly. Provost. A very nice view of those on this pass. Attention on the export market. A large number of customers around the world selected the Jet Provost to meet their needs as well. Then it was further developed into the Strikemaster ground attack aircraft, which we're going to be seeing very side pass from the right. £540 bombs. control of the Sultanate of Oman. Split. That aircraft, the one in the camouflage scheme, Battle of Mir Bat in 1972. One from the right, one from the left. And crossing over at display centre. The aircraft I was just talking about is the one that's now going out to our left. And it's a brand new... near Chester. Made its first flight after restoration on the 16th of July last year, and appropriately enough they've given it the colours of an Omani Strikemaster from the Battle of Mir Bat.
Did you watch the EasyJet inside the cockpit programme? We've already seen the first one so far. And she was like, oh, I'm turning.
It's been with North Wales Military Aviation Services, NUMAS, ever since. They offer jet conversion training, and they've got a very significant stock of Strikemaster Pairs. Sometimes a pretty low level, so-called nap of the earth work would be the order of the day.
Is a par excellence British aircraft. Most of them were sold off when the Islander Defender came into service, and a large proportion of the Army was still flying around the world. Flatplanes. A309, which was the last mark of the venerable wartime air observation. British helicopter, the Westland Scout, really became very, very famous in the Falklands War towards the end of its service in 1982. But again, it's a 1960s aircraft, flew extensively in Aden and Far East, and then became armed with SS-11 missiles to be the first missile-armed helicopter in British military service. So you could say the lineage from the Scout goes directly through Lynx, which was also armed to AH-1 Apache.
Meanwhile, the tight turning manoeuvrability being well demonstrated of the Beaver, which was such a great workhorse right around the world.
The other side. The aircraft doesn't have a massive amount of power. Its sort of top speed is around 65 knots. So flying it is always going to be challenging. The pilot of the Boeing B-17 today is Richard Pellins, who's Boeing's chief test pilot, as well as an ex-Army aircraft. This is a fabulous aircraft to fly, so responsive to tight manoeuvres, which basically brings the aircraft around to face in the opposite direction in the quickest possible way. Holding there now a taut turn, and then he'll thrive through to a wing over as it comes through. Not only was the Scout the third the Army Air Corps, it had a long gestation from the
Green by an Argentinian Air Force Pucara twin-turbo prop close support aircraft, and it was the sole air-to-air kill that the Argentinians scored of the campaign.
Yes, and the aircraft itself was active as kind of a decoy to draw the Dracaris away from the two power troops who were attacking the settlement there. So, quite a brave action. Also of note during the Falklands War, the massive work done Kazakh soldiers off top of mountains during the middle of battle aircraft. The officer behind it, his principal job was to observe from the gun. And during the war, pretty much they'd fly up and down, close to the enemy. This was some of the earliest aircraft embarked in Normandy straight after the invasion. And it's quite a remarkable thing. You know, some of the air observation post pilots landed on the first wave of landing craft and then had to go inland and find a field.
They did, and Ulster aircraft used the eyes of...
has identified further enemy vehicles and calls for a pilot to reposition the aircraft for another strike, this time electing for a salvo of rockets followed by a high explosive 30mm cannon rounds. The target will be acquired and tracked by the gunner, providing a steering cursor to aid the pilot who will aim and fire the rockets. Converting speed to height, the pilot minimises the threat of ground fire, this time with a 360-degree wing over, making tracking and predicting the aircraft's flight difficult for an enemy attempting to engage. The Apaches, of course, then work together to update a set of pre-engagement checks, ensuring all systems are configured correctly for another strike. Using his helmet-mounted monocle as a line of sight, the pilot slaves the gun to his eye line and engages the target simply by looking and pulling the trigger.
Gotcha bomb, target rounds. All targets destroyed. Continuing mission.
Pitch from 90 degrees nose up to 90 degrees nose down. As well as offensive actions, helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft of the Army Air Corps can also provide reconnaissance, direction of artillery and mortar fire, command support to ground units, and tactical mobility such as positioning forces, conducting resupply, or extracting casualties. The majority of the Corps is held at high readiness for operations to deploy alongside either the Army's Division, Air Assault Task Force, or as well the ongoing commitment to supporting special forces both in the UK and around the world. The transition to the Echo model Apache will ensure that the Corps continue to operate the best attack helicopter in the world. A significant update to the longbow that you see today, the AH-64E Apache Guardian, will be fully integrated to the new Royal Navy Queen Elizabeth class carriers to continue providing a vital land and maritime strike capability. British Army Apache attack helicopter. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 attack helicopter display team. To finish, I'd just like to remind you that you can visit us on social media for more team news and information on upcoming displays. Feel free to share your pictures of the day using hashtag AHDT. It's appreciated by the team and indeed other followers of the pages. You can find us by searching Facebook and Instagram with Attack Helicopter Display Team, or on Twitter at AHDT. If you'd like to meet today's pilots, they will be available.
aircraft is operated by Plain Sailing, one of the flying partner organisations based here at IWM Duxford, and it recalls a truly legendary aeroplane. Designed initially as a pure flight, it was until the likes of the Catalina came along to change all that. RAF service with units stationed in Northern Ireland in 1941, and their first major success was in connection with the hunt for the German battleship Bismarck. That May, number 209 Squadron, Catalina shadowed the ship until naval vessels were back in the vicinity. Catalinas also provided cover for the North African landings made by the Allies. They were operating. That aeroplane was involved in a famous mission that started on the 30th of March 1945. It was looking for a downed American airman. 31st of the month. They weren't rescued for another 4 days. And one of the top civilian aerobatic display teams on to welcome them back, and a particular pleasure to welcome their new commentator for the 2019 season. I'm sure many of you have seen him on the TV. Well, you're now going to hear him do airshow commentary for the first time. A pleasure to welcome back to Duxford, Arthur Williams. Arthur, it's all yours.
Thanks very much, Ben. Hello, everybody.
Now, what 3 words would embody Douglas Bader? Courage, determination and inspiration, and each of the pilots here today have demonstrated the same strength of character. This team is more about the story than we are about the spectacle, so please bear in mind the pilots those with a wide range of disabilities to experience the magic of flight. They have 5 aeroplanes that are specially adapted and every day fly disabled people either through PPL training or through air experience flights. Indeed, Arthur Williams, who you just heard, Arthur was our first PPL. Arthur came to see us in 2009 and was the first person who airability trained from 0 to full PPL. Now, in partnership is the Douglas Bader Foundation. I've said already that Charlie Bickers is here today, and at our stand just to the right of the control tower, Charlie will be there ready to meet you all and to answer your questions and to sign the famed book on Douglas's. So who was Douglas Bader? Well, Douglas was born in 1910, he was accompanied by birth, and he joined the Royal Air Force in 1928. And in 1930 was posted to his first operational squadron, number 1 Fighter Squadron at RAF Witchery. Adolf Galland arranged for a prosthetic limb to be dropped into Saint-Omer owing to the loss of Douglas's right leg as he bowed out of the aircraft over northern France.
Thank you very much, everyone. And now we go into an American segment. of course, the only B-17 still flying in Europe. 75 years ago this year, there were many hundreds of these aircraft based at airfields across. At that stage, the aircraft was far from fully perfected. When US Army Air Force's B-17s began arriving in East Anglia during 1942, they were far better machines. That aircraft was the first B-17 to be credited with completing 25 combat missions. There was no escort fighter able to operate to the ranges that were required to take them all the way to their targets. On one raid on the 14th of October 1943, for example, to a ball bearing plant at Schweinfurt in Germany, no fewer than 77 B-17s were lost. With smoke on to simulate a damaged engine, is always carried out in salute to the members of the Sally B Supporters Club. That's the organisation whose thousands of members worldwide help keep this aircraft flying, and they're putting out a very we were talking about the escort fighters that protected the B-17s here. Bases were located.
Absolutely, and I think the furthest west was actually at Kingscliff, which is just up the road from where I live. The Mustang, of course, the fighter that transformed the air war over Germany was sufficient, and sufficient fuel to get there and back. So they couldn't make the distance all the way to and from. It was during that period we referred to earlier, joined the front Sally B, that so much damage was sustained on the 8th Air Force bomber cruisers.
Yes, because some of the early missions were protected by Spitfires, for example, which in those early forms, in particular the likes of the Mark V's, just simply did not have the endurance and the range.
And the P-47, the kind of difficulties that were faced by the fighters during the Second World War, the duration that they actually could remain in the combat zone was really limited.
It's interesting to note that the bike-bite pilots,
and one of the advantages the B-47 had was that it was so heavy. So when it went into a dive, it would outrun just about everything else in the air.
yes, it may be a large aeroplane, but it is by all accounts a delight to fly. And it was a very stable gun platform and a brilliant ground attack mount, as was shown by the sort of missions people. It was less effective. Amazon engine Mustangs was being evaluated. A Merlin was installed in quick time, was tested, And indeed, it allowed the P-51 to achieve its full potential. Supplies of Merlins built by Rolls-Royce, however, were earmarked for other aircraft like Spitfires, Mosquitoes and Lancasters. So Merlin production was taken up by Packard, best known at the time for its luxury automobiles in the United States. Their P-47s. But very soon, the advantages of the Mustang soon won them over.
Horsepower with the radial engines, generating speed up to 150 miles an hour.
Absolutely delightful. The Gemini is the aircraft leading this formation, and there's a link with one of the acts that development of that would make a better air observation post platform than the Taylorcraft Oster family. Used his messenger to communicate rapidly with no less an event than the 1954 King's Cup Air Race. There the Gemini pulls up and the two messengers go off to our left. For greater safety, they gave it twin fins and rudders, so a more conventional layout, and an electrically retractable undercarriage. Which went under in 1947, but by then it had turned out 162 Geminis, the last 8 of which were completed by other firms, and all but one of them as Mark IIIs, with a downward gypsum danger instead of a black nose cirrus minor engine. Wide mix of operators, the Gemini like that, so he decided to take off anyway under cover of darkness. Before anyone could get after him. The Gemini was actually the first aeroplane type to be owned and operated by the Mission Aviation Fellowship. They bought one in 1947 and used it for a survey flight to East and Central Africa the following year, visiting missionaries, seeing how aircraft...
Hours of flight on more than 3,000 demonstrations in all over the world on 140 different aircraft. So number 2 of the Breaking team is we have 8,500 hours of flight. The number 3 of the sprinting jet team is named Christophe de Kettler alias Dookie. There are two parts to the sprinting jet team demonstration. The first part is called Ribbon. The six aircraft will fly together in an elegant ballet. They will draw different formations in the sky. The aircraft are flying at just 3 meters from each other. Duxford, this is the Avenger formation. Formation of our demonstration is named after a collection of famous breathing watches like Avenger, Callisto, Blackbird. To 900 kilometers per hour. First part of our demonstration, the first 10 minutes, you can leave it with us in the back seat of our L39 in Dijon. You can get more information on jetformationflights.com. From your right, his name is Paco for an L13 pass. Paco will be at approximately 1,000 kilometers per hour. Pitchy roll. It's a very popular maneuver created by our leader Tagbotla. It's a very popular maneuver that many, the number 4 and the number 6, in a series of a barrel in a line affair.
Strikemaster Wave. In 2019 in his Banana Pass. His jet is about 700 kilometers per hour.